Back to Midwest Access. Let me introduce you to Dr. Rituparna. She is the curator, choreographer, and dancer who will be performing in this upcoming exhibition, or what is the word for it that we used earlier that I couldn't remember? The day on the 23rd.
The reception of the exhibition.
Reception.
Yes.
Thank you so much, because it is actually going until January, but the reception will be on August 23rd. And so welcome. Thank you so much for being here. We have two segments because I knew there would be a lot to talk about, and I'm trying to decide where to dive in. But maybe let's first start to tell people about Rooted in Motion and about your project, kind of how that came to be.
Sure. So it's kind of a reflection. Rooted in Motion, specifically the performance that I'm performing on 23rd, it's sort of an extension of Rooted in Motion, which is Bhromi, Rooted in Motion. Bhromi is a Bengali word which means the nomad or the migrant or the one who's forever a traveler.
Yes.
And so the performance is sort of inspired from my own life.
Yeah.
I was born in India, grew up there till my master's, and then I moved to Europe for my PhD, and then I moved here for engaging with the community with arts and doing more projects. Minnesota is an amazing place for artists. And
I agree. I can't believe, yes, the artist community here is pretty, you wouldn't think Minnesota of all the places in the world, but we're lucky.
Yes, and the amount of grants and support systems that we have in Minnesota for artists is fantastic to see it and work with. And the community is so diverse, you learn from each other. And that is how sort of this project came about. So the project was about, so the only constant in my life that has ever been there for me was dance. I started learning dancing since I was 3 years old.
Wow.
And that has always been with me. And I was like, okay, even though I don't conceptually understand what a home is, because I've always been in motion.
Yeah.
But I think I am at home when I'm dancing. That's the only space where I feel I've always been in. I can't live without it. I don't know how to breathe without it.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, so this is my home, but let's see how the home transformed throughout my journey and where is it now. So this is something that I sort of trace back through this performance. There are different elements of home that I talk about. So it could be the element of childhood. It could be the element of what family is. It could be the element of how nature connects, because nature is a very crucial part of how you feel at home. Like, do you really like staying in that place, depending on what your relationship with the, I don't know, the plants are, the seasons are, you know?
The scenery, the everything.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so
are there mountains? Is it flat? Is there the ocean there?
Yes. You wake up and you look at the sun, right? That's a normal thing to do. So do you feel at home through that process? So that element is there. And then there's an element of love that is there. And so this is a song in the performance is talking about a love between a person who's sort of placed in the area where he's writing from and writing to somebody who's a foreigner, and his platonic love for the foreigner. So how I reinterpreted it was me talking back to myself when I was back in India, to me being in love for the space here, but also loving the person I grew up to be.
Yes.
So it was like a dialogue between me and myself, but through time.
So neat. Yes, because I got to watch the full film, and it is incredible. But now all those words were making so much sense to me. I was wondering, what are we talking about? A love? Are we talking about a friend? And so how neat, you're talking to yourself.
Yes. So there's the nature element, there's this component, and there finally it opens up to the idea of, are we open enough, we anywhere, everywhere, open enough to open our own doors for people coming from outside, people coming to, call this home and sort of assimilate with your culture, but also bring parts of their own culture and create something beautiful together. So that is how this production sort of came about. And I thought it, even though it's like fragments of my life and fragments of how I see dance and relate that to my home, but it also somehow sort of encapsulates the entirety of the the process of
journey.
Yes.
Yeah, and the journey. Oh, we've got part of you dancing right here. This was part at the kind of the beginning of the film. And so do you incorporate, I'm imagining this is kind of what it's about, is incorporating pieces of dance from different places that you've lived.
Sure, absolutely. So the form is something that I'm trained in, which is Indian classical dance called Odissi, which is from the eastern side of India. It's also a form that sort of originated from temples and sculptures, but then I try to sort of take something that is so traditional and try to merge it with contemporary in the sense of my narratives are contemporary narratives,
Right,
my
yes.
stories are contemporary narratives, but I want to sort of see how can I expand the boundaries of dance that was, you know, learned and created in something that is so ancient and old and traditional, but then can and has the power to tell stories which is beyond its, you know, realm. So
Right, right.
the process is very, very interesting to me.
I bet. It's beyond words. Even though you are adding words to it, I feel dance and music just seems to kind of cross those boundaries.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and that's fantastic. So the language of all the songs are
Yes.
Bengali, that's my mother tongue.
Okay.
But I never thought anybody had an issue understanding it.
Sure.
Because dance and music, I think, is beyond just
agree.
the you know, the semantics or the linguistics
Yes.
of the language.
Yep.
It has a language of its own.
It does.
And it speaks to your heart. So I think
I was just going to say the same thing. It's like the heart's language, and you
Yes.
don't need it. That crosses all barriers.
Yes.
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 Okay, we are going to be back in just a few minutes with Ritu, and we're going to talk more about the performance and more about her life. So thank you.